3, do I have a motion on the appointment of Schnee Legal Services?
I would like to make a motion.
I'll
Speak into the mic, please.
recognize Supervisor Kircher, please.
I would like to move to appoint Schnee Legal Services as solicitor in accordance with the proposal dated March 10th, 2023, and effective April 1st, 2023.
Mr. Chairman, that motion
I'm
is out of
talking-
order.
Further,
Out
move
of
to
order.
appoint Schnee Legal Services as solicitor for the remainder of this week at an hourly rate of $215.
So, thank you, Michelle.
Out of order,
On-
Mr. Chairman. The reason what we
all
all,
grounds.
we have a,
I'll second that.
no, not yet.
Oh.
Right.
I want to hear the
We
grounds.
already have a firm that is our solicitor. Until that solicitor is given notice that they're not our solicitor anymore, we can't hire another solicitor. And I'm going to go through, I spent the time to go through quite a bit of this stuff. Mr. Schnee is trying to get this township to subsidize his going out on his own. $45,000 up front every quarter. You know, he wants us to finance his business. And I want you to bring to attention the fact that Mr. Schnee's request, our notice, was given to Betsy on March 10th. This legal services scheme from Mr. Schnee went to Betsy 3 days before our last Board of Supervisors meeting, and yet no one said anything about it. I didn't see this until Friday on the 24th. And then today, just the 27th, I get a letter from Tucker Hall, as you all have, that tells us that Mr. Hall didn't know that Schnee was leaving until the 22nd. He is a sneaky, sneaky guy, okay? He didn't tell his employer he was leaving and he's working for he's here tonight.
So I'm going to rule
We're-
on the point of order. I saw a correspondence from Tucker Hall Law Firm.
Yes.
And I do recall it running through this evening's meeting. So I would like to, before making the final ruling, I would like to ask counsel,
Speak into the mic, please.
in light of that, this motion, I'm deeming to still be a good motion because Tucker Hall is aware that the services run through this evening.
Correct.
That would be your understanding from the legal. So I'm going to not well receive the objection and leave the motion on the table that Supervisor Kircher made to approve the appointment. While Supervisor Hughes was talking, I think I heard a second, but I'm going to just ask for verification.
I'll second that motion.
So now I have a motion and a second for the appointment of Schnee Legal Services as Township. So,
Point of order.
point of, you had your opportunity to speak earlier.
I
So,
did, and you said nothing. Can we find somebody cheaper?
as I said, you had your opportunity to speak earlier.
I didn't get an answer.
This is warning number 1.
Didn't get an answer.
That's warning number 2. One more outburst and you'll be asked to leave the room. I'm going to ask you to leave the room now.
I wanted to leave anyway.
Very good.
I'll be back next time.
I'll wait with bated breath.
Good. You said you call anybody an asshole. I don't believe him. I know, right?
Any debate requested on the motion in the second?
I have debate, Mr. Chairman.
The floor is yours, Supervisor Hughes.
I have at least 8 reasons why Mr. Schnee should not be hired as our solicitor. And a late one that came in with Mr. Tucker Hall. Mr. Tucker Hall says that as far as he's concerned, and it's a nice letter he sent us, that he's prepared to fulfill the responsibilities as solicitor to Exeter Township. His firm remains the solicitor for Exeter Township until such time as you notify us of the contrary. And I believe that has to be in writing. And I want to reiterate again, Mr. Schnee sent this to us on March 10th. He did not tell his employer that he was leaving until March 22nd. And I didn't learn about it until March 24th, and I'm guessing that all of you knew about it and didn't tell me. That's my guess. But I want to talk about Mr. Schnee and the problems that I've had with him. He's inexperienced. Most of his experience is in right-to-know law. He's never been a partner in a law firm. And I question his performances with regard to contracts. We have RHM, which is really a poorly written contract that gives away over 75% of our revenue. KMS, there was a clause to hire, and it could have cost us extra, hundreds of thousands of dollars, but for some reason, KMS just charged us $9,500, which is amazing. There's several areas where he failed to enforce the contract when there was overbilling. What he did was backdate the contracts. Weekly reports that we were supposed to get from KMS every once in a while materialized. Number 3, support to supervisors. He failed badly with regard to investigating into the harassment charge. He did not assess properly that it was just a personality conflict, and it cost the township $18,000. He ignored a secret investigation carried out by our contractor KMS, which also cost us about $7,000. 3C, he claimed to defend me for the censure, but never produced any evidence that he did. And when informed that KMS overbilled, he backdated a new contract without permission from the board. He's encouraged and permitted sunshine acts, and one example was being the injunction violation, and claimed that there's a law that allows him to cure it. I think that most of his contract that he's offering us right now is unenforceable. The one section of the agreement is, what he can enforce is that we pay him. And it gives him control of the board and control of this township. It expands the QPQ, the quid pro quo. Number 6, he has difficulty providing information. He's biased, and he padded, I believe he billed us for expenses that were not appropriate.
Point of order. As a point of order, I received that.
I'm just about finished,
You
Mr.
did.
Chairman.
I still make the rulings, though. See, that's how that works. And the
Yeah, that
point-
is how it works for now. And I would like to see a financial statement from the new firm.
And you, with the quid pro quo comment, you're impugning the reputation of our solicitor.
Sue me.
Typical Dave.
Okay. All right, Dave.
Point of order, sir.
What grounds, please?
He's still not our solicitor. Tucker Hall is our solicitor.
That's correct.
He actually is serving as a solicitor through this evening under the Tucker Hall contract. So I'm going to not well received your point of order. But I appreciate the effort. Any other discussion for,
No.
Yeah, I do.
Floor is yours.
Couple things here. Last year, we spent $190,000 with Tucker Hall. So, and in January, we spent $24,000. Now, these are rough numbers. So, with $180,000 for a 12-month contract, I feel we're getting a deal. Because, the past reflects exactly the way it has been. Now, I like this contract because I think Mr. Schnee is going to actually lose out himself because I'll call him more. I have been very conscious of calling him because of the time, because it's getting billed. But now that it's a flat rate, I'm inclined to probably ask him more questions as I go forward. And I like that opportunity as a supervisor. Number 2, he wasn't required to tell his employer prior to March 22nd. Do you tell your employer before you're ready to leave that you're going to quit 2 months before you're ready to leave, or do you wait until you actually have everything lined up? That's the way most people do it, and we can't fault him for that. Another thing here, I actually have an audio I'd like to play of Mr. Hughes praising Solicitor Schnee.
Said I was impressed with the lawyer who made the presentation. He's got a lot of experience. He's worked for the county. I don't know if you knew him, Carl, when you were there. He was not there.
We found out that wasn't true.
I liked his presentation, so
So Mr. Hughes was the leading contender to bring Mr. Schnee onto this board last January. And Mr. Bell actually voted, his person was, Kozlov, something, Mr. Bell? So,
I voted for Kozlov's stat at the
yes, so Mr. Hughes, handpicked Mr. Schnee because he was impressed. I remember I was at the meeting myself, that he presented the most professionalism and had the most experience out of all the other solicitors that put in for that. Just because Mr. Schnee follows the law and Mr. Hughes does not recognize that, that's his opinion. He's entitled to his opinion, but Mr. Schnee has proven himself over the last 15 years as a solicitor. So I'm going to conclude my remarks.
I've had
there.
a year to evaluate him, and my assessment was incorrect,
Point of order.
just for the record.
Any other comments about the, so I just want to echo my supreme confidence in,
Yes, you do.
I cede you the floor.
gonna kick me out?
I don't, the thought crosses my mind. I'd like it better if
Go
you just
ahead.
resigned.
Go ahead.
Are you going to continue to be unruly? Is that what are you challenging me, Dave? You already made a threat a
No
minute.
challenge.
You made a threat a minute ago when you said I won't be here for long. What did you mean by that? Just for
I don't
interest.
understand what I
You said I won't be here for long. What did you mean by that?
Was that a year ago?
It was like 10 minutes ago.
You must have heard things, because I never said anything like that.
That's right. So you keep making threats, and we'll see what happens. How's that sound?
Great conversation.
Yeah. Keep making your threats, Dave.
Go ahead.
So you're done talking now? While I have the floor as the chairman of this board?
I'd like to go home tonight.
Be my guest. Door's open.
No, I'd like to get the meeting over. This is 3 and 4 hour meeting day. It's a lot of crap.
That's great, Mrs. Hughes. I appreciate your comment.
You just think you're big shit.
That's warning number 1. Would you like to go for 2 right away? No? Thank you. I would like to echo my support for Attorney Schnee. You've been an excellent resource, and much like Supervisor Hughes said, I made a mistake when I voted for a very reputable firm, Kozlov staff, but you've exceeded expectations. So thank you for your commitment to our community.
And
And congratulations on your new business endeavor. That concludes my remarks. The floor is
yes,
yours.
I've known Chad for quite a while now, and he was always very excellent in everything he did. He planned everything out. We were never, we knew all that was going on, and I thought he was absolutely perfect for this job. And he had enough experience, and I am very glad that he's here. I feel that we are going to get the right legal advice, not like the advice we've got in the past. And I've been around and working with a lot of attorneys, and I think we're darn lucky to have them. Thank you.
Welcome. Any additional comments? This time, I'm going to call the vote on approving the appointment of Schnee Legal Services as Township Solicitor effective April 1st, 2023. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed?
Nay,
4-1.
April Fool's Day.
4-1 approval.
Mr. Chair, 2 weeks ago, I received a request from someone that we have a break periodically.